Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new edition of Shane's World, the weekly show where we talk about the 5 biggest pieces of news that I wanted to talk about from the past week. I might have COVID, but you're not keeping me down. No sir, I might sound like hell, but you're not keeping me down. We're here to talk about the nerdy stuff. We got a lot of horror stuff this week, which is kind of cool because I usually talk about like superheroes, Star Wars, that kind of stuff, but this week we got a lot of horror news that we're going to talk about. But starting off, we're going to talk about Westworld, the big hit show on HBO. Well, used to be a big hit show, has been canceled. Not ended, canceled. It will not be returning for a 5th season. The creators were hoping to end it with the 5th season to kind of wrap things up, but the ratings have fallen so far, HBO just decided not to renew it whatsoever. Apparently, like, the season 1 is like one of the biggest shows HBO ever had, and then each season has dropped and dropped and dropped, and season 4 was like abysmal, like cable network level of people watching, so they've just decided to axe the show. And I don't blame them. Like, I haven't heard anyone really talking about Westworld in years. I did watch the first season. I really enjoyed it. And then I started the second season when it came out, and I just couldn't get into it. It was too weird, too trippy, too many things going on. And, like, Dolores is supposed to be the main character, but she's the one I cared about the least. And then I think it was at the end of season 3 that Aaron Paul joined the cast, and I was going to start watching because I love Aaron Paul, but I never got around to it, and now the show's over. So I'm probably not going to worry about it because it got canceled before it got its true ending, so I'm probably not going to bother watching it. So what do you guys think? Were you a big fan of Westworld? Were you like me who started watching it but then fell off because it just didn't capture your interest anymore? I think that's what happened with a lot of people as the show went on, and those who hung on did hang on for quite a while, but I think by season 4 that audience was dead in the water, and that's why the show ended up getting canceled. Speaking of things getting canceled, the Crooked Man Conjuring spinoff is no longer happening according to series kind of creator slash overseer James Wan. He put it on Instagram. It was a behind the scenes photo from Conjuring 2 where the Crooked Man debuted, and he was like talking about how cool it was, but then at the bottom of the post, of course, he said that the spinoff is no longer happening. And I love the Conjuring universe. Like, there are a couple shitty entries. Like, I love the first 2 Conjuring movies. The first Annabelle's terrible. I really enjoy the second and third Annabelle movies. I like The Nun. I get why most people don't, but I think it's like a campy fun, especially like the holy shit, the holiest. Like, I like that kind of stuff. It's cheesy, it's over the top, and I'm excited to see The Nun 2. Curse of La Llorona is barely connected, but it's also a big pile of dog shit. We know this universe is continuing. Like I just said, we have The Nun 2 coming out next year, and then Conjuring 4 is confirmed for development, and I liked Conjuring 3. Not as good as the first 2, but I'm curious to see where they might take it for a 4th entry. But this is still a bummer, because I do want to see this universe keep going, but The Crooked Man was never really a spin-off that I was looking forward to. What I do want a spin-off of is the Ferryman from Annabelle 3. I thought that monster, that ghost, that spirit was like very creepy, probably the scariest part of that movie, and I would have loved to see a spin-off enter development about that. I think that, you know, Annabelle got 3 movies. You could absolutely get 3 movies out of the Ferryman. You know, you want to keep this universe going. The Ferryman is right there. Now the Crooked Man's set aside. Maybe we can get some development going on a Ferryman spinoff. That'd be really cool. James Wan, if you're watching, enter it. Hit me up. I've got some ideas for a movie or 2, maybe not 3, maybe give me the first 2 and then, or maybe give me the first and the third one and then let someone ruin the second one like Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi. Yeah, that's right, I said it. Speaking about another TV show not getting canceled but getting renewed for not 1 but 2 new seasons, Monster over on Netflix. We just got Monster, Jeffrey Dahmer. Apparently we're going to get an anthology series from this, as we're going to get 2 more seasons based on different real world monsters. In the first season, we saw John Wayne Gacy, so I'd probably bet a little bit of money on one of these seasons being about John Wayne Gacy. And then for the other one, I don't know. I hope it's not Ted Bundy. I'm sick of Ted Bundy. That guy's gotten more press in the last few years than when he did when he was alive. I'm tired of Ted Bundy. Let's move on. Ryan Murphy did have the Night Stalker in a season of American Horror Story, so maybe that's where we go, or maybe we do the Zodiac Killer, maybe, I don't know. John Wayne Gacy, I'd bet money is one of them, and I really hope the second one's not Ted Bundy, because good lord, we've had enough Ted Bundy. Now, is this the right way to go? Business-wise, I can totally see why you do it. You know, Monster is one of the most watched series in the history of Netflix, and I personally did enjoy it, but, like, you know, they got a lot of flack for that first season from, like, the victims' families and stuff, and I think it's probably going to happen again with, like, the John Wayne Gacy series or whatever other killer they decide to focus on. I think they'll probably go through the same stuff, but I think Netflix is okay with it. I think that's a kind of a risk they're willing to take for the amount of business that gets picked up when something like Monster arrives, because we people are in love with serial killers for some reason, and it's never going to stop. It's not going to stop anytime soon, and that's why we're getting 2 more seasons of Monster over on Netflix. Now, switching over to something that's not so creepy, the MCU. That's right, we had to talk about something superhero related on Shane's World. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II has been cast to play Wonder Man in the upcoming MCU show. Now, this is exciting and kind of a bummer for me, and we'll start with the exciting part first. Wonder Man is a character with lots of history in the Marvel Comics. He first debuted in like issue 9 of the Avengers, so he's been around for a very, very long time. He's got tons of storylines, whether it's the West Coast Avengers, whether it's, you know, a business tycoon that rivals Tony Stark. There's a lot of stuff that Wonder Man is involved with, and I'm curious to see how they use him in the MCU. It definitely looks like they're taking more of the comedic acting approach, and I'm fine with that. I think Wonder Man might be a big player in the future of the MCU. Now, here's the bummer part of this news. I love Yahya Abdul-Mateen as an actor. I think he's great. I like him as Black Manta. I liked him as young Morpheus in the not-so-good Matrix movie recently. He was great in Candyman. He was great on Watchmen, the HBO series. Now, a few months ago, he was interviewed about acting in Aquaman 2 as Black Manta, and he kind of shit on acting in comic book properties a little bit, saying that it's like children's work, that it's easy, that it's kind of laughable compared to some of the other stuff he does. It's like, come on, man. Come on. Don't be such a douche. Like, that was probably your highest paying gig you've ever done in your life, that Aquaman role. And he's coming back for the sequel, and now he's doing this. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he's just kind of got foot and mouth disease or something. Like, come on, man, these are the things that people know you for. Like, I like Candyman, but everyone's not seeing him on the screen going, hey, there's Candyman. They're gonna be like, hey, there's that guy from the Marvel MCU, from the DC thing. They're not going like, hey, there's what's his fucking face from Watchmen. They're noticing you for these, so be appreciative, not such a douche, and you seem like a cool guy, but, you know, as a comic book nerd, don't be such a douche, Yaya. But I am looking forward to seeing you in Wonder Man if you're watching. Now, speaking of big dudes that scare me, Jason Voorhees is coming back, baby. That's right, after, 13 years now, ironically enough. The lawsuit is apparently over, or at least getting damn close to over, because we got confirmation on the first Friday the 13th thing in 13 years since the underrated remake. I really like that movie, but we're not getting another remake. We're not getting a reboot. We're getting a TV series from Bryan Fuller, who did the great Hannibal show, and A24, who does like tons of great stuff. Everything they touch is awesome. Just earlier this year, they did Bodies, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. So they're definitely got my attention for this Crystal Lake TV series they're doing over at Peacock. Now, usually I'd be like a Friday the 13th prequel series, but it's not just a prequel series. They have, you know, they can use Pamela, they can use Jason, they can go anywhere they want inside of the franchise. They just have to do it on TV because there's still some legal stuff with the theatrical rights, so they're going to do it on TV. So this isn't just a prequel. This is like, I don't know, it can span the entire franchise. I don't know what you would call that. But Bryan Fuller, joking around, said if they get to 10 seasons, they're going to go to space. That's how much freedom they have with the show. It's picked up for 2 seasons already, so they have high hopes for the show. Bryan Fuller gives me high hopes. A24 gives me high hopes. So if they're going to do a reimagining of the Friday the 13th franchise on TV, that's the team that I would like to see do it. I had a really good idea for a feature film, but we'll talk about that at another point in time. But for this show, I'm very excited. You know, Hannibal is great. I'm still hoping it comes back for one final season. Maybe this will kind of sweeten the pot. Maybe it'll move over to Peacock for its final season. I don't know. But I will say, Peacock's getting some cool stuff lately. They got a lot of cool stuff in development. They have that Bel Air show that's really good. They have, WWE stuff. They have The Office over there. Well, we're eventually going to get an Office reunion of some sort. I'm sure of it over on Peacock. So Peacock's got some big things coming down the pipeline, but I hope this series is good. I have high hopes. This is the highest I've hoped for a reimagining, not just a fresh take on Friday the 13th in a long time. This team gets me excited, but does it get you excited? That's the important question. Let me know that down in the comments below. And what did you think of all the other news stories? Are you excited for Yaya joining the MCU? Are you excited that Monster's coming back for 2 more seasons? Are you excited that those things aren't happening anymore that I talked about? Let's chat down in the comments below. Make sure you share this video on all your different social media platforms so we can keep growing this channel out towards 200 subscribers. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys right here next time.